All right, welcome to the tutorial to get started with CODAP. So this is a really powerful tool that we're going to use as we explore data. First thing you need to do is you need to either click on the link that we've given you or go to codap.concord.org and click Try CODAP. When you do that, it's going to load this software CODAP. Click Open Document, and you're going to do Getting Started with CODAP. And you should see this. Before I show you some of the steps in getting started, I want you to link CODAP to your Google Drive. And to do that, you click on the File button, which is up here in the upper left. Click Save. And it'll give you directions. It'll ask if you want to link with Google Drive, and you should do that and link it to your school account. This allows you to save your file to work on it later. So I'm going to save mine as Getting Started with CODAP, and I'm going to add my name to it, which is always a good idea. And now I can return to this at any time. You can also upload it to Google Classroom and all that good stuff. Okay, the steps down on the left, that's what you need to do to complete this first part. And if you, for some reason, don't know how to do it, you can just click the Show Me button, and it gives you a little animation to give you more info. So CODAP's designed to drag and drop files in from your computer. And to show you that, it's got a file right here that we're going to drag in. Okay. So this is a giant table, and the table shows a whole bunch of mammals. So each mammal, like for example, the gray seal, has a whole bunch of data, like lifespan, height, mass. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes with it. So when we have a table, it's sometimes useful to be able to see everything all at once. It's also nice sometimes to narrow your view. So if I click up here in the upper left and switch to the case card view, I can see each of those animals individually, which is nice. You think of it like an index card that has all the information for the mammal. But I want to stay in the table view. And the next thing I need to do is I need to make a graph. So the graph button is right here. And when I click it, all of that information, that data, is now on my scatter plot. But what's interesting is that those points are all over the place. There's no pattern to them, and that's because we haven't selected anything to compare about the data. But I want you to notice, when you click on a different row, it highlights that row on the scatter plot. So it shows us the relationship between a table and the plot. Okay. The next step was to move a table or graph. Well, I just did that, but if you need to move, just like working in a Windows computer or an Apple computer, you can click up here and move it around. You can also resize. Sometimes that's necessary. Okay. Next, we need to drag an attribute to a graph's axis. Well, what is an attribute? Attributes are basically the information that's in a table. So each of the columns in our table, that's an attribute. So for the gray seal, you can see its lifespan, that's an attribute, or its height, or its mass, or amount of sleep, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to click, let's go with height, and I'm going to drag it onto my table, onto the axis. So it's on the axis, and now it organizes all those dots according to height, which is cool. Okay, the next step is to drag a second attribute to the graph's axis. Now we need to do it to the other axis, and we want a different attribute. So I'm going to get mass, and I'll click it and drag it over to the y-axis. And it organizes now into a scatter plot that compares height and mass. And still, each of those animals is one of those dots, and you can see where it is on the chart by clicking or going up and down on it. Okay, that's all for this part. There's a second part, which we're going to do in a second. Final thing I want to show you, or do next, final thing that I want to show you is how to export an image. Because we want you to export this graph so that you can share it with us. So I'm going to click over here at the camera, save the image, export image, and then I can give it a title. So I'm going to just say, add the word graph to my title, and click save. And then you can attach it to Google Classroom. Okay, so you in your challenge need to do all of these steps, but we want you to make a scatter plot that has two different attributes. Once you've done that, upload it to Google Classroom and move on to the second part.